Hey junkies, how are you? I am coming to you from my car because it's super duper cold outside. And like I said, I came to the park and it was so cold when I was setting up my camera that I just thought, oh gosh, I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot this video because I think it's essential for me to want to keep my set intentions today, which is one was shoot a video, edit it, and upload it. And so I really want to be a go-getter in that aspect, okay? So today, this video is about how social media has encouraged me to recognize my alignment. Now, that might sound like that's kind of weird, but let me explain to you. This has been a beautiful little journey, and I'm so thrilled and so happy to share it with you. So, okay. I think I've shared this with you guys before, and if you've ever been on my social media, maybe, I mean, I don't have a lot of followings and things of that nature. That's never been really essential or important to me. Well, I take that back. It used to be really super important to me because I felt like that's where I got my importance from, right? And I think a lot of people go through that in life, especially the younger generation coming up, is that so many people put importance on social media, like how many likes am I going to get? How many people are going to share this post? How many people are going to comment on this or say fun things or good things, you know, compliment me? And a lot of times people use this as a measurement for feeling of significance and importance. And so I want to kind of talk about that because I'm all about the spirituality, the like fine tuning and getting into our internal reserve of why we do certain things, right? And also how this has been such a beautiful instrument in my path of expansion for my business, for myself personally, in my relationships, and in all sorts of manner. So it kind of stems back to when I've always been kind of social, but not as much, I think, as, I think I used to be a lot more social, maybe I didn't even recognize that I was quite so social on social media. Now, I'm all for being social because I really feel as though it's been a wonderful, you know, the internet can be a wonderful instrumental thing. I'm also a big advocate of social media. I met my soulmate on social media. So, you know, and as crazy as some people might think that sounds, like, that sounds silly, you know, like you met them on social media. But the avenues of the universe, you know, if you don't completely restrict the universe and you just allow for everything, be an open vessel for things in the universe, so many things can happen, right? But we shouldn't put so much energy and so much discipline on feeling that, you know, being on social media is a must-have. Like, we have got to be on social media. Like, I have some friends that's like, oh, I could never not be on social media. Like, that is the whole way of my business. That's how I make my money. That's how I do this. That's how I do that. And now I'm not focusing on the social media aspect of YouTube because obviously I love YouTube, and this is my happy place is YouTube. And it always has been, and I protect that as a way of me feeling happy when I go to YouTube. To upload a video, to look at videos is actually a beautiful, beautiful place for me. Whereas yours might be Instagram, or yours might be Twitter, or, you know, whatever social media outlet you find that makes you happy. So social media, as far as that goes, is YouTube is mine. Also, my happy place is my blog, my new blog that I created, that I made. I designed it by myself. It's not extravagant or anything of that nature. It's Blogger. I'm not on WordPress anymore. It's very simplified, but you do what you do until you can do otherwise, right? You make it work. And so what happened was, when I would go on social media, this is probably like a year or 2 years ago, I would get angst about it sometimes. I would also feel like, I just was like, it was a love-hate for me with social media. And I would feel like, oh my goodness, this person's better than me. This person has this person has that, and then I would start comparing myself. And you've probably, if you've seen videos or like, I'm quitting social media, whatever, like I'm not quitting social media. And I think that sometimes people become extremely drastic when they start talking about that. And I was a culprit of that, I will fully admit. But there's some things that I've learned about it in my process through my spiritual journey. And so that's what I'm sharing with you today. Is that, okay, so for the longest time, like I said, I would get so upset and then I would be like, I'm going to quit social media. I hate social media. Coming to you like completely transparent, because the only way that we can learn, or the only way that we grow as people, is if we tell our truth, okay? And our truth does not necessarily mean that you have to believe that that's actually a lie, Raquel, or that's actually a truth, Raquel. Like, some things in my life may seem like they are not truth to you. And that's only because if you don't believe in the law of attraction and you don't believe in manifesting and creating things before you can actually physically see them, you come across a lot of times as somebody that is like a little cuckoo. Or, like they're not living in this reality, or they don't, that's not a truth. But what your truth is, when you're evaluating me, and my truth is my truth, you can never inflict your truth about me onto me, because everything that I'm living is my truth. Does that make any sense? Like, when people try to tell you like, well, that's not true, or, like for instance, when I was posting some pictures on social media or whatever, people were like, well, you're not really living your truth, or you don't really live there, or you haven't manifested that yet, or whatever. Like, that has nothing to do with me. That has to do with you and your perception and subjective view towards me. And so a lot of times I think we're tending to other people's houses and not cleaning out where we need to be cleaning out first. And so one of those things was social media. So I had been called out on the carpet from a couple of siblings in my family. I had been called out on the carpet, with reference to social media and what I post, from my parents. Well, my mom more so, my aunt, a cousin, two friends, two that are no longer friends. And it just seemed like, whereas before I would be the kind of person to be like, I'm just quitting social media and I'm going to run and hide and go away, right? Until I recognized that it wasn't really about me. It was about these people projecting these conditional beliefs that they had with themselves onto me. So in order for them to feel better, or other people in your life, they want a condition to change. So if you manipulate yourself into becoming what they need you to be for them to feel better, that is how people project themselves around the universe most of the time. Because one person in alignment is more powerful than millions of people who are not. So the one thing, not one thing, but there are several things that I've learned about this and social media. So last week, I had a situation occur, and it really helped me to reevaluate things. Now, not because I wanted to go off of social media, but because I kind of wanted to do this internal testing within myself, right? Because I wanted to go in a different avenue to figuring out my relationship with social media. And that's really what life is all about anyway, you guys, is all about us evaluating ourselves and our spiritual growth and our spiritual journey, and not anyone else's. But these people that cause friction or contrast in our life are actually beneficial in our growth and expansion. So we have to always look at these other people as gifts. These people are actually blessings in disguise, so to speak. And you've probably heard that a lot, but especially if you're a spiritual person. But yes, I'm a very spiritual person, and so I do believe that in contrast, there's always the beautiful lining, the silver lining beneath the contrast. So I had wanted to, I was feeling this sense of angst lately within the last probably 8 or 9 months. And it would go in shifts, it would come in and out and it would flow, and it had its ebbs and flows. And I was feeling like spreading myself thin. I was feeling like, okay, when I do a blog post or I do a YouTube video, that I've got to hit this, I've got to do LinkedIn, I've got to do Pinterest, I've got to make sure I do it on Instagram and share it on Facebook and share it on my fan page on Facebook and share it on Twitter and share it on, and so I started to get to where I wasn't doing a lot of my blog posts because I was just like, it takes you a long time. Like if you're a writer, this, like it takes a long time to plan out and to write a blog post, and then to put, pictures with it, to create what you're trying to do for your brand and for my YouTube videos. And so I just started to feel like a lot of stress, like I'm spreading myself too thin and I'm not actually focusing, because that was my word for this year, is I'm not able to focus on one, like narrow in on one particular social media outlet. And so it was causing me a lot of like anxiety. And so what I decided to do was, instead of putting all of these posts out or spending all this energy on social media, that and I say social media like on Facebook and all that, not YouTube and not my blog. So what I wanted to do was, I was like, you know what, I'm going to focus on one thing. So I'm going to focus on creating a video for my YouTube channel and then embedding it in my blog post and just sticking with my blog. Now, I do feel that it's okay, obviously, to go on social media, but this is the one thing that I want you to really focus on when you go on social media. If you have any desire to understand more about yourself with regards to social media, because there's so many times that people like want to run from it, or they want to like, I'm not going on there because it's stupid. I'm not going on there. I don't want to hear about so-and-so's life or how great and everything. Everybody's always putting their best reel forward, right? Everybody's always going to show you their best reel. Unless it's someone that wants to get attention by negativity, they're going to put out negative stuff as well. But remember, if you're in alignment before you go on social media, you will not attract the people that you will only attract the people in the headspace that you're at. So that's what I would highly recommend, is that's what I've been doing. Now, I have kind of taken a little bit of a hiatus off of social media, but not for any reason except for the fact that I am focusing on my blog and I'm focusing on my YouTube channel, because that's where I really, really want to focus. Not because I want more views, not because I want people to hit my blog and I want it to have massive, well, I shouldn't say that. That's a lie. I actually do want to get traction on my blog and on my YouTube channel. But that's not the reason that I'm doing it. That's not the only reason that I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I'm a teacher and I love to share, and I'm always learning and growing, and that's what helped me in the beginning with my spiritual journey, is that I went to YouTube. And so that was such a beautiful, inspirational tool for me, so that I want to continue to carry that on for other people. And I also want to focus on my blog, because as a writer and creating stories and painting and stuff, that is where I feel like, you can become a, jack of all trades, but master of none. And so I felt like that is what was happening to me. And I tend to be that way anyway. It's always been a weakness, but I'm trying to recreate new beliefs about it. So that is what I've done, is really to narrow in on that. But what I wanted to reiterate is that it's so important for us that when we're going to go on social media, that first, I think the first thing that people are inclined to do most of the time, and I know from experience from my own journey, is that I would immediately wake up and just go right immediately on social media. You know, I would answer emails, I would do all this stuff before I actually got into alignment and had meditation. And so now what I've been doing is that if I decide to go on social media, that would be wonderful, but I'm going with the head space and the spiritual space of upliftment and love. That's my one word. Evan Carmichael has a book out called Your One Word. And so basically it's all about, like, you build your entire brand, the entire brand around your one word, and every single thing focuses on that one word. And so you always keep that focus in line, and it will help to to articulate exactly the avenues and the venues and everything that you do for your business as an entrepreneur is going to be focused around that one word. And he tells success stories about people that have one words and all of these beautiful, beautiful things. And so I would recommend that book highly because it's a beautiful book. And so my one word is love. And so when I go on social media, I need to make sure, and this is what I've been doing, is that if I go on there, I haven't really had a need to be quite honest. Which is interesting. What happens is that once you're getting fulfilled within your own personal alignment, you have no more desire to consume these other things because there's no comparison that you need to be in comparison of with anyone else. It's not a distraction, you know what I'm saying? Because most people are going there to consume whether it's information, to consume knowledge, and that's what I want to put out. So I know that every time I'm putting out a post or every time I am sending out a tweet or anything of that nature, I'm always going with the full well intention of my one word, which is love. And so I want to encourage you to do that. Don't run away from social media. Who cares what other people say about you, that you need to reevaluate yourself or whatever? Because actually what's happening is when these people are saying and projecting these things out to you, it's actually them seeing the reflection of themselves within you. And so it stirs things up in them. And most of the time, because there's not tons of people in alignment in comparison to people out of alignment, they're projecting their insecurities, their negative belief systems, their negative conditioning all onto you. And so obviously the other thing you have to look at is the fact that when they are doing this, you were receptive to that. You must have came with that energy because you attracted them. So you need to take accountability for your own actions too, is that I wasn't in alignment when I was meeting these people. Okay. I mean, we can't always be in alignment. You know what I'm saying? We can't always be in alignment all the time because we're still having a mortal experience. But what I'm saying is the whole thing is that when you're going on social media, go into it with the mindset of being in alignment first, meditate first, and go into it with your one word. How do you want to project yourself into the world? How do you see yourself? How do you want other people to see you? And that is what you want to work on and accentuate those particular attributes about yourself. And that is what I want to focus on. I want anytime anybody reads anything about me, reads a post that I'm posting, a blog post, a YouTube video, I want them to say, oh, Raquel is all about love. We know that when we're going to go to Raquel's blog, it's all about love. When Raquel posts anything on Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest or anything of that nature on social media, it's always about love. And so I'm not perfect, but I know that full well that I need to be in alignment and have meditated before I go on social media. And so that's the conclusion that I came up with. And I'm not saying that you have to do this at all. I was just wanting to share with you my experience about social media because I think that it's a topic that has come up. It's come up with me. It's come up with numerous friends of mine. And so I felt like it was something fun. It's a great video, and it's something that I've learned throughout this last week, and it's been so exciting and so, just so interesting to me. And so thank you. I hope this served you in some capacity on your spiritual journey, and I hope you have a lovely day. And if you want to give a mermaid her fins, or yes, please subscribe below. And if you have any questions or comments that you would like for me to shoot a video on, I am getting to the one video about how to practice the law of attraction. So I'm trying to think of who that was, my subscriber that asked for me to do that, and I still haven't uploaded that video yet, but I promise you that I haven't forgotten. But yeah, I want for you to comment below or email me, and if there's any kind of subjects or topics that you would love for me to write a blog post on, I would be so thrilled to do that and so happy. And you guys give me my content. You guys give me the ideas. It's not always just about me and what I'm experiencing, but if there's something that you're experiencing or you have experienced, perhaps if you give me a comment in the section below, or you email me, I can say, oh my goodness, I've experienced that same thing too. Maybe that would be a good video, because I can't always, I don't always know what everybody's going through in their personal lives at the moment, So, once again, I am so happy that you stopped and swam by. And as always, I'm yours until my next swim. Ciao! Bye!